Good evening, everyone. I'm Cindy Mercado. The missing explosives in Iraq may have ties to a 5 eyewitness news team that was embedded near the site in question. John Mason is here right now to tell us what this possible connection is all about.
Cindy, the area where our crew was with the 101st Airborne was certain to say very close to that munitions installation called Qa Qaa, which is where tons of ammunition went missing. Using GPS technology and talking to members of the 101st Airborne, we've determined that our crew may have been located on the southern edge of the actual weapons complex. Now take a look at this map. This is an area south of Baghdad. Qa Qaa is here. Our crew was embedded with the 101st a little further south right there. On the day the video you're about to see was shot, they drove north 2 to 3 miles to what very well might have been Qa Qaa. The video was shot on April 18th after the fall of Baghdad, in the middle of a time span that is now an issue in the presidential campaign. Members of the 101st Airborne Division took our crew to look at bunker after bunker of material labeled explosives.
There we go. Now we can get in there.
Usually it took just the snap of a bolt cutter to get in and see this material identified by the 101st as detonation cores.
We can stick it in those and make some new ones.
And after the doors were open to those bunkers, they weren't secured. They were left open when our crew and the military went back to their base. There were what appeared to be fuses for bombs, bags of material men from the 101st couldn't identify, but box after box clearly marked explosive. And in one bunker, boxes marked with the name of the munitions plant in question, where tons of explosives allegedly went missing. Qa Qaa. Photojournalist Joe Caffrey shot this video.
We weren't quite sure what we were looking at, but we saw so much of it, and it didn't appear that this was being secured in any way. It was several miles away from where all the military people were staying in their tents.
What do you think, America? Is this a big bomb or what?
Officers with the 101st tell us tonight these bunkers were within the U.S. military perimeter, protected. But photojournalist Caffrey and former 5 Eyewitness News reporter Dean Staley, who spent 3 months in Iraq, say Iraqis were coming and going freely.
At one point, there was a group of Iraqis driving around. There was a group in a pickup truck, 3 or 4 guys, that we kept an eye on from a distance, worried that they might come near us.
There is criticism and confusion over when explosives vanished from the Qa Qaa ammunitions installation, before or after the fall of Saddam on April 9th. What we know from this video is on April 18th, 9 days after the fall of Baghdad, in bunkers either very near or actually on Qa Qaa, there was material labeled explosives, some of it identified by members of the 101st Airborne as explosives, with questionable levels of protection around them. Again, our crew's recorded position, according to GPS equipment, puts them just south or on the southern edge of Qa Qaa. Officials with the 101st we talked to tonight agree with that. Now, we've emailed pictures of the material that we found to experts in Washington tonight to see if it is the same kind of high explosives that went missing in Qa Qaa. They couldn't say. We plan to get our tape to experts tomorrow as we continue to follow this story. But be clear, based on the descriptions of the material in question in the video that we brought you tonight, the explosives may or may not be the material, the explosives in question.
What they certainly are is part of this presidential campaign.